Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going in with this Wet n Wild little quad called Hooked on Vinyl with this light peachy shade. In my crease is my first transition shade. It looks so much like peach smoothie or orange soda. It's such a good transition shade. So we're putting that down first. It is a little dusty, but I want to show you guys how to do this look with super affordable shadows. So it works really well. So we're putting that in our crease from inner corner all the way to outer corner and blending her out as always. Giving her a good blend. Then we are taking this kind of almost mustardy brown shade to deepen up the crease just a little bit, and this is the, I think it's Rosé in the Air or something like that. It's the Wet n Wild palette that is like the modern Renaissance dupe. It is actually so great. So we're putting that in the crease, and we're going to blend her out as well and blend it in with that transition shade. We're just trying to give the crease some depth and definition here. These colors are actually going to mostly get covered up except for that first shade anyway. So we're taking the Wet n Wild palette in Nude Awakening, and this is a really beautiful maroonish, purplish, brownish. It's a maroon with kind of a purple brown undertone, and it's so beautiful. And I am working that first into the outer corner, and then I'm going to drag it up into the crease and kind of shape out the outer corner and then the crease of my eye with this. This color is going to be the main star of the show, and I'm taking my Morphe M506 now to blend that into the crease, just dipping in. This shade does need to be built up, definitely. It's not completely opaque on the first go, but it is good. It builds easily and it blends easily, which is what is most important, and it's so affordable. So we are dragging that into the crease and blending it out. Then I'm going back to the color, or the brush I use for my transition shade, one of them, and I am blending that in and kind of blowing it out. And I think then I'm going to dip back into it, just a little tiny bit of it, to help blend it out and build it up a little bit more, because I want this color to stand out the most with just a little bit of that really light peachy shade peeking out above it that we used in our transition. So now I'm going into my little Brûlee single shadow from Wet n Wild, and I use that. I kind of take a big fluffy brush and go over my brow bone with it, and also use it to blend out all my other shadows because it works so well for that. So then we are going into the black in the palette, and this is my Morphe M431, and I'm getting just a little bit on the end there, and I'm going to start slowly kind of packing that onto my outer corner. This, I do have my base done already, so I'm being very careful and building very slowly because black can get out of control. Black shadows can go crazy. So I'm taking a tissue and just laying it down while I put on this black shadow. That way I don't mess up the base I have already done. So now I'm just going to work that from the outer corner and up into the crease, because I found that that maroon shade blended in with a black shade, it makes the most beautiful, like, deep purpley red. It's so pretty. So I'm going to blend that into the crease, and I'm really trying to stay low into the crease here. So I'm keeping it right on the tip of my brush and just lightly bringing it into the crease, slowly and very, very, very lightly. It's always, especially with black shadows, it's always best to start out very light and build it up slowly. You definitely don't want to go in there crazy on the first go. So now I'm going back into that maroonish shade, back on my M441, and I am going to blend out the black with some more of the maroon, kind of going over the top of it and just blending out where the black meets the maroon shade. And then I'm going back in with the M431 that I used for the black and just kind of building it back up anywhere that it seems kind of patchy, and back to the M411 to blend, because that's what we do. We just blend and blend and blend some more. So we're just going to blend. Then we're going back to the transition shade in our fluffy brush to blend the seam where that peach shade meets the maroon shade. Make sure that's nice and blown out and seamless. And then I'm going back to my M506, and I'm just going to kind of detail in that maroon shade a little bit more to make sure it just really blends with the black beautifully and is nice and saturated. But this brush is perfect for adding little detail bits of shadow anywhere. Oh, surprise, surprise, the Jaclyn Hill palette. Going in with that first shade, which I believe is called Beam, to highlight my brow bone, as per always. Oh no, it's called Enlight, sorry. I'm highlighting the brow bone with that. I love it. It's the best. Then I'm taking the Wet n Wild concealer and a tiny brush on the back of my hand, and I'm going to cut my crease. I pretty much do this every single day at this point. I just think that, especially half cut creases, I don't do full on cut creases all the time, but doing a nice half cut crease just makes the shimmer shadows or anything you're putting on your lid just lay down beautifully. It makes them stand out so beautifully, and they just, I don't know, it just pops and it looks so clean. And I'm taking this Ulta shade, it's called Nostalgia, on a flat synthetic brush, and I'm going to pack that all over my lid. Now, I felt bad using this shade because I don't believe you can buy it, but it is extremely, extremely similar to the Stila shade Kitten eyeshadow. It's a complete dupe, but I don't think you can buy the Ulta brand. I got it free in like one of those little bags that you get when you spend $20 on Ulta beauty products. But I love the shade so much. It's so sparkly, and it's such a beautiful like mixture of like taupe and champagne, and it's got like a little bit of like a pinky undertone to it, but very, very similar to Kitten or Kitten Karma. I don't know. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about from Stila. It's so similar, so you can use that, or you could use any champagne-y shade. Then I'm going to take the maroon shade again. I didn't take the shimmer shade completely to the end of where I had the concealer, so I'm going to put the maroon shade in between the black in the outer corner and where I stopped with the champagne-y shade. And so I'm going to pack that on in between, and then I take my brush and kind of fluff the maroon into the shimmer shade on the lid. And then after I get it kind of fluffed in there really nicely, then I start to kind of wiggle my brush back and forth really, really lightly across the seam. So it's kind of dragging that maroon shade into the shimmer shade, but also kind of dragging some of the shimmer shade into the maroon. So it just diffuses that seam between the two so beautifully. And so then I kind of go back and forth between the brush I used for the shimmer shade and the brush I used for the maroon shade, and kind of, I don't really dip into much more product, maybe a little bit here and there, but I just go back and forth between the two to blend them together. Then I'm taking that maroon shade on a teeny tiny little brush underneath my eye, all the way from the outer corner to the inner corner, and just really smoking that out, connecting it to that outer corner especially. Gives a really nice shape to the eye when you kind of just drag it all the way down from under there. Then I'm taking that peachy shade from the Wet n Wild Quad to blend that maroon shade out so it's not too harsh underneath the eye. And I'm going to add lashes and an inner corner highlight, and we are done. I hope you guys love the look. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Leave a comment of any videos you would like to see. And I love you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!